Dungey comes home hoping to better his last couple of years. Webb looks for redemption. Can he make his mark in Martin's backyard? After a perfect open to the season, does Russell finally bobble? And some local flavor from Zoo City. That and more only on the Racer X Show. Hello and thanks for checking us out. It's the Racer X Show. We're going to cover the spectrum today, the highs and the lowest of lows in racing, plus World Superbike update and info on how you can win a 450. So here we go.
The Racer X Show with Greg White is being presented by Acerbis, Soul and Passion, and by Yoshimura, the leader in performance exhausts.
Let's start this show with a motocross segment presented by Acerbis, where the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Series raced at Spring Creek in Millville, Minnesota, home to two of the sport's best 250 racers, Alex and Jeremy Martin, and the home of 450 points leader Ryan Dungey. Of those three, one would have success, one would seriously struggle, and the third would get beat in his own backyard. To Jason and Grant with the highlights.
It's the land of 10,000 lakes, Millville, Minnesota, and the La Crescent Wine and Spirits Spring Creek National, part of the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship, sanctioned by AMA Pro Racing. Let's show you our first 250 moto. We just completed it, so we have the Lucas Oil race recap. Bad news for Alex Martin, the home track favorite, was running fourth early, tangled up with Marvin Musquin. Then Musquin would go into the lead here around RJ Hampshire. So bad news for Alex, good news for Marvin, until Marvin stuffed the front end in the mud and could not get his Red Bull KTM out. So that leaves RJ Hampshire in the lead for the second time. Cooper Webb not messing around. He just keeps the Yamaha on the inside. And once Webb had the lead, unlike Musquin, he would not have trouble and he would hold it all the way to the end. So Cooper Webb takes his first moto win of the year. Of course, there's a caveat there. He did miss a whole bunch of racing, basically the first half of this season with an ankle injury. So good to see him recovering. And we'll show you the results from this moto. Martins end up third and fourth. They wanted 1 and 2. Good job for Hampshire. I know he got the whole shot, but he's still top 5, and that's impressive. Another rookie, Plessinger, right behind him. Musquin ends up 8th, as we saw. Let's give you the Lucas Oil race recap and show you the second and final 250 moto of the day. Our 450 race coming up in just a few minutes. Jeremy Martin, the home track specialist, grabs the whole shot. His teammate Cooper Webb is right behind him. Webb won the first moto earlier today, but he had nothing for Martin, nor did anyone else in this second moto. Champ was on a rail.
Yeah, he was on a mission, but Cooper Webb, with this second place finish again, enough to get his first overall of the season, and only his third race back from injury. But he did have some pressure at times, but this guy had no pressure. He was on a mission, went out, stomped the field, and just proved that if he didn't have that clutch issue, basically was saying, I could have gone 1-1 today.
Yeah, you got to wonder, what if? Here's your results of that second moto. Jordan Smith ties his career high with a 50s right behind Savachi, who had a pair of solid races today. And here are the overall results. You see that Webb edges Martin on total points for the day by 2. Savaji up on the podium. I believe that's the second time this year for him. And the big difference, Musquin, you see, scores 15 fewer points today than Webb and 12 less than Martin. Another Justin Barcia hole shot. That's 3 in a row for the Joe Gibbs Racing Yamaha rider. Has his teammate Phil Nicoletti right behind him. Nicoletti was actually all over Barcia on the first lap. But here comes Ryan Dungey, your home track favorite.
Watch this pass. Look at that. Front wheel off the ground. Unreal. Just a power move. Back on the gas. Downsides that. Gets past Nicoletti. And he would set a sight on Barcia, but Barcia would have a little tip over. From there on, it made it look quite easy for this guy. Dungey wins in his home state of Minnesota.
And you hear some big cheers from the fans there. Barcia would hold on for second. We mentioned Barcia and Roczen second and third. Baggett from way back ends up finishing solid 4th. And Nicoletti, after that good start, ends up 7th. Noren, Porcel, and Grant round out the top 10. Welcome back, Josh Grant. Not bad. Ryan Dungey looking to get the victory in front of the home state fans, but Justin Barcia, who had won the last 2 races and has gotten the last 4 starts. Look at that, 51, just so strong out of the hole, battling with the 21 of Jason Anderson. But Dungey is soon in the 3rd and then pressing them Then he gets around Anderson for second, and then on the downhill, a scary place to make passes. He does make a pass, takes the lead.
Great pass there, and once Dungey got around Barsha tried to keep the pressure on, but Dungey just had a little too much on this day here at Millville.
Wins it by about 5 seconds. Dungey, first moto, check, second moto, check. That's the overall win here at Spring Creek. This is the track he grew up racing on, so crowd is going to be very excited when he gets up to the podium. Here are your moto results. Baggett getting around Roxon late for third. Freddie Noren, career best, 5th place. Well done. And Josh Grant, welcome back to racing with a nice solid 9th. Baggett and Roxon tie. Tiebreaker goes to the better second moto, so Baggett will be third for the day. Another solid, consistent day for Anderson and Tickle. Freddie Noren, 7th overall. Well done.
What a contrast we saw from Justin Barcia. When he got second at Glen Helen earlier in the season, he was pumped. And why not? He had a lackluster Supercross season, to say the least. Then he wins 3 weeks ago. He's on top of the world. Again in the dry at Redbud, and boom, the animal, as his crew call him, is flying high. Then on Saturday, Dungey just straight up beat him, especially on the downhill runs. Barcia jokingly saying in the post-race press conference that maybe he should find a steep hill this week and practice going down it. Barcia was, to say the least, bummed that he didn't win. He knows second is good, but now he expects to win. This is a great sign for the JGR crew and for the series. It's too late to challenge for the #1 plate, but if Barcia wants to stay in the Dungey, Roxon, Tomac conversation, he'll need another win or two before this one's over. And stay with me, folks, okay? Moto America Superstock 1000 points leader Jake Gagne, who races for the Yamaha-supported Road Race Factory Orion team and was a ripping fast youth motocross racer, is going to enter round 11 of the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship on a factory Yamaha YZ450F. The 21-year-old pro road racer getting a shot at Pro Moto. You don't hear that every day. We'll have more on this with Jake on next week's show, so stay tuned. Pro Motocross resumes this weekend. We head over to Washougal, Washington. You can catch Moto 1 action on MAV TV live at 4 p.m. East, 1 p.m. on the west side, and then switch over to NBCSN at 4 p.m. East to catch live Moto 2 action. That's all this Saturday. And did you know that you can win a brand new 2015 450 motocross bike of your choice? Yep, you can pick it. Honda, Husqvarna, Kawasaki, KTM, Suzuki, or Yamaha. All the proceeds go towards funding the Asterix Mobile Medical Center. How? Easy. Head over to winna450.com. Purchase all the raffle tickets your heart's desire. Do it before August 21st. The winner will be picked August 22nd at the 2015 Bud Light Ironman National in Crawfordsville, Indiana. The winner doesn't need to be present to claim their prize. What are you waiting for? Get your tickets now at winna450.com and help support the Asterix Mobile Medical Center today. And that is our motocross segment, brought to you by Acerbis. Now our road race segment presented by Yoshimura, where the Superbikes of Moto America raced up Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, and they had a couple races. And so far, it's been an all Monster Energy Graves Yamaha affair on the brand new R1, with the Yoshimura Suzuki boys chasing hard on the aging GSX-R 1000. 2 races on race day, the first one being run on a drying track, very tricky conditions for any racer. What tire choice to go with? Well, #1 Hayes went with full slicks, thinking that only turns 2 and 3 were wet, and he was surprised after leading the first lap. But he did and started to check out, leaving the racing to #15 Steve Rapp, Adam Racing, Beaubier on the 6th, Roger Hayden on the 95. Lapping up to 4th, Hayes took the victory. Almost 19 seconds the margin of victory. That is virtually unheard of this season. A good bit of points for Hayes to Beaubier's 2nd. In race 2, it was an all-dry affair. 3 riders, Beaubier, Hayes, and Hayden, started a great battle. In the early stages, Hayes was out front trying to hold off Hayden, but in turn 5, Roger was able to take the point. All the while, Beaubier closing the gap. Game on. On the straight, he rode past his teammate with a great drive out of turn 11. For the lead, around the outside in the corkscrew, he held that until the final turn on the final lap. Hayden took his shot, but could not keep his Suzuki on the bottom. Beaubier squared it up and drove it home for the win. How about Geico Honda's Chris Ulrich with a pair of 5th place finishes? But with that 3rd by Hayes, makes it all tied up. On race wins, Hayes #1, 8 to Cam 6. But with only 4 races remaining, this one is going to come down to the final race. Great stuff. And now for some sad news. Those of us here at the Racer X Show and around the motorcycling community mourn the loss of two professional competitors during the Moto America Superbike Superstock 1000 race Sunday at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. Bernat Martinez, 35, of Valencia, Spain, and Danny Rivas, 27, of Moena, Galicia, Spain, succumbed to their injuries as a result of a multi-bike incident during the start of Race 2. We extend our deepest condolences to those involved, the families and friends of both riders. We'll have highlights of the races on next week's show. While racing goes on, so will TV coverage. Moto America is on CBS Sports Network this Sunday. The one-hour highlight show starts at 2 p.m. on the east side, just before lunch on the west. Moto America with support for the big show, World Superbikes, in which former U.S. Superbike regular Chaz Davis cleaned house. The factory Aruba.it Ducati riders swept the weekend by winning Superpole, then races 1 and 2, the first Ducati Panigale double in World Superbike competition. That's a record. Now the points don't change much. Johnny Ray will stay out front, and the all-British affair rages on. And that's our road race segment presented by Yoshimura. Some quick news coming out of the AMA Pro Flat Track paddock. Last night, a competitor bulletin was posted with proposed class changes for the next 5 years. Now, basically, only big bikes for the GNC1 class, multi-cylinders, so no motocross bikes anymore. But in GNC2, 450 singles or modified motocross bikes. It's not a done deal yet. The official announcement will be made November 20th in Las Vegas at the season finale. We'll definitely keep you posted about the class structure changes. Okay, now for some local one-off flavor in the off-road world. It's called the Zoo City GP, and it took place in Asheboro, North Carolina. The style, a mix of motocross and off-road racing on a 3-mile course. The format, 30 minutes plus 1 lap, 2 motos, and a couple of GNCC pros showed up and showed us how it's supposed to be done. Number 17 is Jason Thomas alongside Josh Strang on the number 2. The race got going on about a quarter of the motocross track, then into the woods. Early leader was Thomas. 9:45, Trevor Barrett follows the 1:17 of Josh Thomas. He's close in tow. Josh Strang had to work his way through the pack, recovering from a so-so start. But it was local boy Barrett who would close the gap and eventually take the lead away from Thomas. And then pull away. And then here comes a charge from Strang and eventually takes the spot. But Barrett was too far gone. In Moto 2, the kick or push button didn't go well for Strang, but Thomas was shot out of a cannon. This time it was number 5, Nick Berenger, chasing after. So was Strang. Last Moto winner Barrett buried deep in the pack. Strang was on the move, passing the 5 for second. All the while, Barrett was making his own moves to gain some spots. Strang kept on coming, but Jason Thomas was able to pull off some fast 6-minute lap times to take the win. 3-1 good enough for the overall, over Strang's 2-2 and Barrett's 1-4. What a fun looking race. Oh, and we had to show you this. A crazy good mini race with number 5, Hunter Williams on a Husky. He's battling Yamaha mounted Connor Smith, number 3. Those two would fight the entire 30 plus 1 way around, with Smith making the pass on the final lap to claim the win. 30 plus 1 is a lot of racing. Good job, fellas. Unique in the U.S. is the Kenda Full Gas Sprint Enduro. Short, wide open test, 2 days of riding, 11 tests over those 2 days. The fastest overall time wins. So far in the first 2 rounds of 2015, it's been FMF KTM's Caleb Russell who's taken victory. But in round 3, from Staunton MX in Brazil, Indiana, things would end up a bit different. Let's boil it down for you. 5 tests on the day. Russell came out swinging, taking the win on the first one by 2 seconds over number 2 NFEB Pro Yamaha's Daniel Milner. Milner immediately answered, taking the second test by 4 seconds. This trend would continue throughout the weekend with the pair going back and forth, winning tests ultimately taken 10 out of 11 wins on the weekend. After the first 5, on day 1, Milner was ahead by 2.623 seconds over Russell, setting the stage for an intense second day of racing. Moving on to day 2, it was Milner coming out of the box and grabbing test 1, but Russell, he was on the 2015 KTM 250 XCF, he grabbed the second one. Then Milner on 3, Russell on 4, and finally Rockstar Energy Air Group Racing's Ryan Sipes taking test 5 just ahead of Russell and Milner. But Milner would wrap up the victory with a test 6 win. The day 2 margin of victory going to Milner by, get this, 0.02 of a second. But a win is a win. Milner dethrones Russell by some 2.6 seconds when it was all said and done. Sipes, a very solid third. Russell leads Lane Michael in this one. Could Caleb Russell win 3 national championships this year? Keep an eye out for that one. Get out of the house and get to a race. Pro Motocross is just north of Portland, Oregon, in Washougal, Washington, Saturday. That'll be fun. ATV MX is up in Michigan at Redbud. That is always great racing. Kenda National Enduro is in Cross Fork, Pennsylvania. See Caleb Russell and the crew? Heck, go race it for yourself. Have some fun this weekend. Hey folks, a programming reminder for next week. Beginning on Tuesday, we're going to have live coverage about 8 hours a day right here on RacerTV.com of the Rocky Mountain ATV MC Amateur National Motocross Championships at Loretta Lynn's, presented by AMSOIL, or what a lot of you people call Loretta Lynn's. 8 hours a day until Saturday. It's going to be awesome. RacerTV.com.
The Racer X Show with Greg White is being presented by Acerbis, Soul and Passion, and by Yoshimura, the leader in performance exhausts.
Okay, we're wrapping things up today. If you like the show, feel free to share it with everyone. We want you to, and we love more people viewing. For the fine crew here at the Racer X Show and Racer TV, thank you so much for watching.